March 1793. Vendée, Western France. A column of Republican soldiers moves through the village of Saint-Florent-l'Évêché. No musket fire, no artillery, no defensive line. What they encounter are roughly 200 peasant farmers standing in the road, holding the tools they had been using that morning. The conscription order had just arrived. The engagement lasts 11 minutes. When it ends, 31 Republican soldiers are dead. The column retreats 2 kilometers. The weapons that did this were built to cut grain, move hay, split firewood. They were never designed to kill. It turned out the design did not matter. For irregular forces in the pre-industrial world, the problem was not courage, not numbers, not motivation. It was metallurgy. Military blades require forges, specialist labor, quality iron, supply chains. An uprising could gather men in hours. It could not gather armorers. The gap between willingness and equipment was measured in manufactured steel. Farm implements closed that gap. They already existed, in every settlement, in every season. The question was never whether they could kill. The question was how and under what conditions they did so best. The pitchfork, 2 or 3 iron tines mounted on ash or elm. Length 140 to 180 centimeters. Reach advantage over most military sidearms of the period. Tines 25 to 40 centimeters long, sharp enough to penetrate wool, linen, flesh. Force required to pierce the thoracic cavity 40 to 60 newtons, well within the capability of any agricultural laborer. Driving steel into compacted hay and root-bound soil had prepared the body already. It was not a degraded weapon. It had simply changed occupations. The sickle, curved blade, 30 to 45 centimeters, designed for draw cutting, pulling across tensioned stems. Against a human target at close range produces a laceration. Most effective at neck and wrist, regions harvesters were always careful to avoid. The war scythe was a deliberate military adaptation. Blade straightened, remounted parallel to the haft, converted into a slashing polearm. Reach approximately 2 meters. This was not improvisation, it was standardization. During the Kościuszek Uprising of 1794, Polish authorities issued formal specifications for conversion. The fighters, kościusznicy, operated alongside regular troops. The axe. Head weight, 1 to 2 kilograms. Haft, 70 to 90 centimeters. Impact energy at blade edge, 200 to 400 joules. A late 18th century musket ball carried roughly 150 joules at close range. An axe blow delivered more kinetic energy than a musket shot, with one limitation: range. Within arm's reach, its destructive capacity was not inferior to military sidearms. German Abwehr records from 1942 document partisan attacks using agricultural axes specifically because they produced no acoustic signature. The operational record spans centuries, but documentation is clearest in 3 cases. The Vendée Uprising, 1793 to 1796. The Armée catholique et royale fielded between 80 and 100,000 fighters. Most are armed with farm tools in the conflict's first phase. Republican reports from Tifoug and Cholet note casualties inflicted by a pitchfork and a scythe. Long hafted tools kept bayonets at disadvantage in confined terrain. At Raklowice, April 1794, Kosinieri overran Russian artillery, captured 4 cannon, recorded in Russian reports. Significant enough that the war scythe entered Polish national iconography. In the Philippine insurrection, 1899 to 1902, American records describe bolo attacks, heavy agricultural chopping blades, effective in jungle terrain where rifles could not be brought to bear. Comparison with military sidearms shows a pattern. The standard bayonet, 30 to 45 centimeters long, offered no mechanical superiority to a pitchfork or a scythe at close range. Its advantage was integration with a firearm, ranged and melee combined. A farmer with a pitchfork was only the second. In open ground, distance decided. In doorways, forest paths, village streets at night, the distance vanished. Limitations were permanent. No pitchfork could fire at 100 meters. No sickle extended beyond the arm holding it. Against armored cavalry, the tools performed poorly. Vendée insurgents learned this against hussars. Psychology mattered too. Trained soldiers initially processed farm tools as lesser threats. That assessment was often incorrect. The Republican Army required an entire campaign season to revise it. The war cost roughly 200,000 Republican casualties before suppression was complete. The war scythe was last issued to the formed infantry during the January Uprising, 1863. By then, rifled muskets extended effective range beyond 400 meters. Close-quarters agricultural weapons could no longer contest modern battlefield geometry. They did not disappear. They returned to their natural theater. Occupied farmhouses, forest ambushes, checkpoints approached from behind. The last documented European battlefield use appears in a Soviet partisan report from Belarus, November 1941. 3 lines. 4-man German patrol eliminated. Weapons used are recorded. No further details.